You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's right.
It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
I know I've criticized the investigation into these mysterious drones over New Jersey, and to be clear, everyone is criticizing this investigation, and rightfully so. But I do want to say this. I do want to give credit where credit is due. There's at least a couple of sheriff's offices who seem to actually be trying to figure out what's going on. Like, I don't see a visible effort, and that doesn't mean there's no effort being put forward, but we're not seeing much of a visible effort from anyone else. But the sheriff's office, some of them, they're going to the beach at night, and they're doing their own drone patrols, trying to figure out where these things are coming from. And if you ask me, that's the best thing to do. Because, yeah, we know they're flying over land. We know the type of sites they're attracted to. We get it. They like flying over the critical infrastructure. They're attracted to the military bases. That's obvious. We know. What we need to figure out is not necessarily what they're doing when they're above land, because we kind of, I think, get the picture. What we need to do is find out where they're going once they start flying over the ocean, because apparently that's where they're coming from. Now, I'm not saying that they're coming out of the ocean, but they're launching from somewhere, out on the ocean. At least that's what it seems. Now, you also have to understand that these sheriff's departments, they don't have access to everything that the U.S. military has access to. So they have limited, capabilities, at least with the equipment that they have. But from what I've seen, they are doing their best to try to figure out what's going on, or at least they're trying to do something, which is more than we're seeing from, everyone else. But we did have a congressional hearing about these drones, finally, and there were a couple of bombshells that were released in that hearing. Not a lot of information on what these drones are. We still don't know really what these things are, but it was revealed that these things have been kind of harassing our Coast Guard, following our Coast Guard. And I've told you in past videos, we've talked about this, how these things seem to be trying to poke and prod and provoke. You know what I mean? Almost in an intimidating manner. We've discussed the FBI agents who are investigating being followed home by the drones. We've discussed how they're flying over the police barracks, the New Jersey State Police, how they're flying over the headquarters. And now they're tracking and trailing the Coast Guard. So it seems as if whoever's behind these drones, they're aware that they're being watched and looked at. And instead of shying away from it, they're kind of trying to intimidate anyone who kind of tries to find out who or what these things are, which is very, very odd, and it's very, very bold. But let's go ahead and roll this news clip, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Reporting drone activity over recent days. It's been happening over several weeks. Congressman, good to have you with us. The White House not ruling out anything, not giving us any answers. Neither did this hearing that we just heard some questions in. What is going on here, and when can people expect to get some answers from our leaders?
They should have had them immediately. Last night I was on the beach with Sheriff Mastronardi, and he's doing a magnificent job in trying to ascertain a threat for this. He's the Ocean County Sheriff. Sean Golden's doing the same thing in Monmouth County. So I was there on the beach, and I talked to several people, including a commander for the Coast Guard, who told me that the night before, I was there last night, so 2 nights ago, one of their 47-foot boats, was trailed very closely by more than a dozen of these drones. Now that, to me, is very, very not just suspicious, provocative, and this could be a foreign power, whether it be Putin, or whether it be Xi Jinping in China, or the Middle East. We can't rule any of that out.
Yeah, this is incredible.
It's
so
incredible.
a United States Coast Guard boat testified to you that 12 drones were following it in the water in the Atlantic Ocean. Did they tell you anything about the size, what they look like? Were they able to get images? How close were they?
You know, they were pretty large, and they weren't far off the stern. So it's very, very troubling. I called the Joint Base and talked to the commanding officer there and asked, we know we have the capability within DOD to ascertain where it's coming from, even bring it down, and they have it, but they don't have the, quote, authority to do it.
What, from
so
who? See, this is the question,
asked.
Congressman. So when you're out over the ocean and you have 12 of them out there, I think, you know, it's a very reasonable question. Why weren't one of those drones trailing the Coast Guard ship shot down over the ocean and grabbed and checked out?
Well, again, the capability to do that in a way that could retrieve what it is and who's doing it, it resides within the DOD. They have it. I've asked the commanding officer to get that authority. I've written Lloyd Austin to ask him to give that authority. I mean, this could be the beginning of something, or it could be nothing. Who knows? But how dare they allow us to live? I just listened to the White House spokeswoman.
Say nothing.
They got nothing to tell us.
Unbelievable.
And we have the capability. You know, and the night before, I was there last night till late. The night before, one of our police officers, again working for Sheriff Mastronardi, chronicled 50 coming from the ocean onto land. 50.
This is
I mean, this is really serious stuff.
It's insane. It's like a sci-fi movie, and it could be a hoax, but it's so large, the number of them.
There's probably a ship that
it's a foreign entity.
launching them.
It's something that the U.S. knows and understands, or it's some kind of massive hoax with lots of people involved. But whatever it is, we absolutely have to know. So, you know, this lack of answers is absolutely
Martha, there's
really
no way it's
upsetting.
a hoax. We have foreign powers, especially China, Putin, Russia, and
we
Middle
already,
East.
you know, we watched the balloon go across and didn't shoot it down until it was well out over the ocean. So let's hope we can get it right this time. It's already very late in that process. Unbelievable. I had one, you know, go over my house, and it's a strange feeling. So
well, we'll let you know what we hear from DOD, because they should give that authority.
When she said this could be a massive hoax, boy, oh boy, I almost jumped out of my seat with rage. I am glad this guy went ahead and nipped that nonsense in the bud. What kind of hoax do you think this is? Do you think your average person has access to hundreds of car-sized drones that he can pull off a hoax with? Drones that evade the U.S. military, the FBI, and every local law enforcement agency involved? What do you mean? Oh, this could be some... No, it's not a massive hoax. It's not a massive hoax. I think... You know, now that we know they're following the Coast Guard and these things are flying in the ocean trying to, I don't know, provoke problems or antagonizing, you know what I mean? I think that soon enough, the longer this stretches, the more we're going to have to question how likely it is that we have a traitor on the inside. Because I get it, there's protocols, I get it, you can't just willy-nilly shoot down anything you want. That's not how things work. I understand, you got to wait for the command. But why isn't the command being given? How likely is it that we have some traitors on the inside who are kind of like, oh, you know, trying to pretend like this isn't a big problem because they have interest elsewhere? You know what I mean? How likely is it that the reason the command hasn't been given to really shoot these things down is because we have a traitor on the inside that doesn't want these things shot down, regardless if they belong to the enemy or not? I don't know. All I'm saying is this. They're not handling this problem. And the longer we have this problem, the more theories are going to arise, the more people are going to speculate. So if you don't want people speculating about possible traitors within the U.S. government, allowing foreign governments to spy on us with drones, then nip the problem in the bud. But they're not going to stop the problem. At least not yet. So, I don't know. I really feel like this story, it raises so many questions from so many different angles. And I think they're well aware of that as well. And, I mean, even sitting here, it's hard for me to make a video about this without just asking questions. Because I have just as many questions as you all do. And I don't want the whole video to me just be, hey, what about this? What about that? But like, that's literally what's going through my mind. Just so many different possibilities here. But you let me know what you think the possibilities are down in the comments below. Feel free to say whatever you want while you're down there. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell. And I'll talk to you all soon in the next video.